This 60-second AI ad took me more than a week, and I was so unsure in between if I could even pull it off. But it actually landed me a good client meeting. So for the backstory, a few weeks ago, I had met this person who runs his own production agency. So I asked him if there's any project that I can help with. And at the moment, he didn't have anything, but he said, I'd love to see something that you've made. So I just decided to make something. And I asked him if there's a brief that he would like me to work on just for fun. And he said yes. He gave me a lot of freedom, but he just gave me one tiny brief. It was a little vague, but he just told me to make something along Flux, a peanut butter brand. And that was all the brief I had. So I started with one image and I gradually built from there. My idea was to create images and then animate them using some AI video creation tools. Now for the storyline, since the brief was a little vague, I had to narrow down to something that I could do, something that a beginner would feel nice doing. And since it was the first time exploring AI tools, I just thought I should try out something which could get slightly believable results just to test how good AI can get at a desirable shot rather than making it obviously AI. So the brief that I landed on was making a montage of different people using peanut butter on a Christmas day and jar gradually reducing in quantity. One family sort of using it throughout the day. But then I gave it another thought and I realized maybe in one day it sounds a little unrealistic and something that sounds too salesy because realistically people won't really have a whole jar of peanut butter in just one day. So I decided to scrap that and I just decided to just make a montage of peanut butter being used in the whole holiday season and how different people and different houses use it. Then came the part where I had to choose a tool. Now, there are a lot of videos available online, but it gets confusing with the credit system. And since I was putting my own money into it to decide which tool to use, I just thought I had to get the best bang for my buck. Now, I watched a lot of videos and realized some AI tools are better in another thing. So I wasn't sure which AI to use because it was the first time I was using it. That's why I decided to just go with any tool that provides access to multiple AIs, and I would just try out different AIs to see what would stick, just as a learning experiment. The one I ended up picking was Higgsfield because it had all of these multiple AIs. And soon I did realize that the tool mattered much less. It was more about committing to a particular AI and trying to find out the best prompt for that particular AI. So the one that I ended up using the most was Nano Banana for the most part. But surprisingly, I also used Flux Context a lot because it let me add finer details and tweak minor things in it, which I think added a lot to the creative process of it. But as all of this goes, it doesn't mean the process was easy. Each image shot that I had to create had to be perfect because when I was to convert it into a video, at least the shot should be amazing so the motion makes sense and it ends up looking good too. Now, the problem with the images was that so many times, even after prompting details, it would get a lot of the things wrong. One thing I particularly struggled about was sensitive content and the AI flagging any sort of image with a child, even though it was super humble. Another thing that I really struggled with, and I think I'm just going to stay away from, is the texture of peanut butter being right. So many times it would just look like salted caramel, and that made no sense. I thought AI would understand what peanut butter looks like, but turns out not really. One of the shots that I struggled extremely a lot in, and I tried all sorts of ways to make it, like trying to change the cookie, trying to change every single aspect of it that I could. So the idea was I wanted to make a shot where a person's hands are trying to assemble a broken, like a gingerbread man. So maybe the arm is fallen off and there's just peanut butter used like a glue, and then the arm is being stuck onto the body of the peanut butter cookie. And I just thought it would show peanut butter as a tool, but something that's also used in food. And that's something people use, right? For even gingerbread houses. So I thought that would be a fun little close-up shot. And in my eyes, it felt easy. But turns out it was really not. Even when it would make the gingerbread cookie broken, parts of it would not assemble one entire cookie. And it just couldn't get gingerbread man right. I even tried versions where I would just make stars. I tried version with full cookies and it was a mess. It was a big mess. So even though in my head that shot was an amazing shot to include, I just couldn't make it work and I had to pivot. Now, when it comes to motion, another problem that I really faced was obviously the texture of peanut butter. I would prompt it to add things like physically correct motion and it should be physically accurate and things like that. I just kept adding that to the prompts, and even then it gave some really subpar results. A lot of the times it felt like it didn't have the right viscosity. And so many times I was making this shot where I wanted the person to stir some chocolate brownie back, and it just felt like the volume is randomly increasing and decreasing. And it just wasn't believable. Then I had another sort of difficult shot where I wanted to animate a dog licking his face, and that also took me a lot of iterations. The photo came out really nice, But when I had to convert it into a video, it kept failing because I wanted like a slight saliva droop, and either it was too excessive or sometimes it just didn't look right. So all of this said, I had to pivot a little bit. Some of the shots I had imagined didn't work. Some moments had to be made simpler, and a few ideas got dropped entirely. But here's what surprised me after all that adapting and tweaking. I still ended up with something I actually like. It's not perfect, and you can tell it's AI in places, but it has a mood and it communicates what I wanted. That alone was a win for me. What stuck with me wasn't just the process of the video, but the feeling of starting when you still don't feel ready. And I think with everything moving so fast, that's how it should be. After all this blabber about how I made the video and all the problems that I faced, I think you need a fair chance to actually look at the video. So here it is now. This was the last video I worked on before the year ended, and I'm actually glad it happened that way. I don't know what the next experiment would look like, but I know that I don't need to wait around to just feel ready. And if you've been curious about trying AI tools and feeling overwhelmed with all the options and methods out there, I think I'm in the same boat as you are, and I'm taking this journey one step at a time. So if you're into something like this, maybe you can follow along.